everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast. Happy Friday, guys. How's it going?
What's up?
You're probably doing better than me, but we lost yesterday to the A's, which I really felt like we should have won that damn game. But anyway, so we took a loss yesterday. So, that's what it is. But you guys did well getting Naylor.
Yeah, no, that was a good pickup for the Mariners. Obviously, they let Tellez go, a month and a half ago. And they haven't really had a consistent answer at first base. So for them to go get a first baseman and a guy that's hitting the ball well, that's huge. And it's something we don't normally see out of the Mariners. Usually the trade deadline comes and goes, and we've done very little. Last year, we got rid of our second best hitter to bring in Randy, who basically had the exact same stat line. So it was something that you looked at as who cares. Although Randy's playing a lot better this year. So, I mean, that's nice. But yeah, for them to go get a first baseman that is hitting like 290, 293, something like that, that's huge. That is an actual good pickup, and it's weird to be saying this about the Mariners.
What did you guys give up?
What's that? Oh, I forgot exactly what the trade was.
They obviously was prospect. You guys gave up prospects. I don't know who your prospects were, but it said prospects.
Yeah, I wrote it down, but it's that's in another room. So,
well, dang, Bo.
Yeah, I came down here, and then as soon as we started to go live, I was like, "Oh, you know where my bag is? Is upstairs." So, is what it is.
And since it's hey, stat guy, can you find it? Oh
yeah. Well,
damn.
To be fair, he's giving us the same amount of stats he normally does.
Oh, damn. Woo, somebody coming out hot today. Jeez. Hold on, I'm going to pull that up.
Stat guy. He doesn't generally bring a lot of stats.
And so this is obviously the first one. Today is what, the 25th? So we got 6 more days before we hit the deadline.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is the domino that starts the trade war.
Probably because, this is kind of the first deal, right? And usually soon as somebody breaks the seal on it, then everybody's like, okay, now we can do things.
So you guys gave up left-handed pitching prospect Brandon Garcia and right-handed pitching prospect Ashton Izzy to the Diamondbacks, which reinforces Seattle's intention to aggressively add to the roster before their deadline. So yeah, you gave up 2 pitching prospects, a left-hander and a right-hander, to get Naylor.
So, I mean, to be fair, that's actually a good give up, right? Because pitching prospects right now aren't going to get much of a chance on this roster. So, I mean, our pitching is decent. So, I mean, to give up a couple of prospects to add a bat for a team that, can make the playoffs, I get that. Like, that's a solid move.
And he's 28, so he's still pretty young. So he's got at least, you get at least 5 or 6 years out of him before.
I mean, I'm curious what's left on his contract, but
yeah, it didn't. But either way, I think, like you said, man, it goes against what you guys typically do, and you needed hitting, so that, like you said, I mean, it's a win for you guys.
Yeah, a guy with a good batting average and decent on-base percentage, like that's what this team needed, because you have Cal yanking the cover off the ball, but Julio is super inconsistent, and everybody else is kind of everybody else. So it was, Randy has actually been hitting pretty decent too, but if you could add another solid bat in there, you'll see less pitching around Cal. So because you have started to see that a little bit, the last game before the All-Star break, and then of course a couple of games outside of it, they're giving him less stuff to blast into the bleachers.
Yeah, because right now you guys are second in the wild card at plus 0.5, right behind the Yankees. So you guys are in a good spot. I mean, and really, you're not out of contention for even the division too, because you're only 4 games back of us. So
nah, we're more than that.
Not? Are you sure? I thought it was 4.
I think it's 5. It might be 6.
5.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was 5. Yes, because we lost yesterday. And I think did you guys win or lose yesterday? Yeah, you won.
Yesterday we won, but we had lost like the day before, I think.
Interesting. Either way, though, I mean, you're only 5 games back. So you're still very much in the divisional round or buying for the division.
Yeah. So we won yesterday, but yeah, Wednesday we got absolutely smashed at 10-2. It was the last
Doesn't
game
matter. It
against the
still
Brewers and
counts
we
as
got
only
killed.
one loss. Doesn't
It
matter if
does.
it's 10-2,
It does.
30-2. It's only one loss.
That's true. But if it was 32, that would be really crushing. That'd be crushing to your team.
You know what? Actually, it's
I mean,
easier to flush that than it would be the 10-2 probably. Like a 30-2 loss. Like if you give up 30 runs in one game, it's
Yeah, your
easy to
guys
flush
didn't show
that
up.
away. It's just easy to flush it. You're like, okay, that's gone. I don't know what happened. I mean, that's
Yeah.
even as like, all right, so getting no hit in the playoffs in the World Series, you know what I mean? Those guys were able to kind of flush that even the next day because that was a much closer game, much better game, in fact.
Mhm.
You know, and I'm even talking about you, Jay. Yeah, that I'm giving you guys kudos there for doing that. But
And that doesn't
Maybe-
happen very often. So I'm actually kind of stunned right now.
so
Well, we'll get rid of that real quick. So,
Yeah, I know, right? Damn.
So yeah, here I can get rid of that real easy. You know what? So I was looking at all the
I knew you
teams'
could be nice,
odds to win the Super Bowl and win the division, and of course the Cowboys are a plus 5,000 to win the Super Bowl. I think that's a bet you should make there, Jay. Donate your money into yeah,
Hey.
and they're on the third list, but they're not on the worst list. For instance, the Raiders are a plus 10,000 to win the Super Bowl, but they're a plus 15,000 to win the division.
I would actually throw $10 at the 15,000 to win the division.
Yeah.
I think it's a misprint by the way they have it
Okay.
here. It could be only 1,500, which would still
That would make more sense.
make more
But
sense
if
because it
it's a
seems like
15,000,
I'm just trying to calculate my brain. If I did a $10 bet on the 15,000 on it, well, that's gonna be some serious cash.
so.
That'd be like $1,500.
Yeah.
That's still serious cash off of $10.
Oh no, for
Correct.
sure. And that's why I say, like, I would throw $10 at that. If it was 15,000 for the Raiders to take the division, because the Raiders are gonna surprise some people, I think. So, do I think they
I don't
win the
think so.
division? Absolutely not. Do I think they win some games they shouldn't? Yeah, probably. So I would throw $10 at it because I'm gonna waste $10 and not remember what I did with it anyway.
So why not? Why not take a gamble, right? Hell with it.
Exactly.
Uh,
Oh man.
yeah, that's right, Steve. Yeah, go ahead. I would talk smack on you, except I know who you are.
That's funny.
I really do.
Yeah,
think he's
just
a big
here are some
Cowboys
of the
fan,
games.
though.
So right now the Eagles are at the top. They are at plus 650 to
Yeah.
win the Super Bowl, followed by the Ravens, Bills at plus 700.
Sure.
The Chiefs are a plus 750, and the Lions are a plus 900. But what's telling about the Lions is that to win their division, so all those other four have negative odds to win the division. So the Eagles are a minus 145, the Ravens are at minus 145, the Bills are a minus 300, and the Chiefs are a minus 120, which makes sense to me. I feel like that the Chargers actually have a chance, and maybe even the Broncos. I mean, I feel like that the Chiefs are really Patrick Mahomes' injury away from not making the playoffs.
Oh,
So-
agreed.
But with the Lions are a plus 140 to win the division and a minus 190 to make the playoffs, which is the lowest of all of those top tier teams because they got the Eagles are a minus 450, the Ravens are a minus 500, the Bills are a minus 750.
Yeah.
I think that the minus 750 on the Bills not making the playoffs, because I firmly believe that they are a Josh Allen injury away from not making the
no
playoffs.
question. Yeah, that whole offense is predicated on his ability to be
Oh,
Superman.
absolutely.
Yeah, Joe, it's only a plus 5,000. So you could go ahead, Mail me $20. I'll place your bet for you, and if you win, you'll win 10 grand. Or 1,000. No, 1,000. Yeah,
Yeah, I know my math
20
was done
bucks
when one was
to win
19.
1,000. Just mail me the money. I'll
He's actually
take
going
it
to
in
buy it.
lira or pounds.
He's actually just going to buy a beer with it because you're not going to win that bet.
That's exactly correct. I am spending that cash.
Could you imagine the headline? Philly sports guy places $20 bet on the Cowboys to win a Super Bowl and wins.
Oh, yeah, no.
Could you imagine
Philly
how that
sports
would
guy
be?
takes a $20 bet is what that is. I ain't making it. I'm taking it. I'm taking that money.
See, but then they'd haul off and win it, and you'd be out. You'd be like, ah.
Actually, Joe would be the one that would be out because I ain't a casino.
See,
Poor
you're just
Joe,
over here
man.
trying to lose viewers all the time. First Chris, now Joe.
First Chris, now Joe. I
And
mean,
listen, that's why I'm letting them know now. Don't mail that money.
Yeah, right.
I'm spending it if you're mailing it.
Yo,
Other notables, though, the Commanders are a plus 2,000 to win the Super Bowl, a plus 225 to win the division, and a minus 150 to make the playoffs.
so do you think? Now, obviously, Scary Terry is holding out right now, but he's going to play for them. Do you think they take a step back this year? I think they do.
I do as well. I got the Eagles at 12-5 this year, which is like a step down a little bit. I think that this is a hard schedule for them. The week on, week home, week away, week home, week away, week home, week away. That is really taxing. Like sometimes it's easier to do a couple away games and then stay home for a couple of weeks. They don't have that at all in the schedule, including with the bye. I think it's like away, bye, away. So it makes it very it's going to be challenging all the way around. And I think that that's going to lose them a couple of games. There are a couple of teams that have 3 road games in a row, which is also really tough. And that's one of those things where it's like you almost want to bet them to lose 2 out of the 3 games in general. But I think the division odds for the Commanders sounds about right at plus 225. They get the Bengals at a minus 140 to make the playoffs. Now,
Really?
no offense to them,
Who
but
they
I
have
like
playing
the
defense?
odds. I like the odds at a plus 120, I guess that is, or a plus 110 to not make the playoffs to get positive money. I think that makes sense to me. I would actually take that. Like they have here are the teams.
I'd be surprised if the Bengals made the playoffs. Like their defense is terrible anyway, and you don't have your stars there. I don't know. That just doesn't seem like that's going to be a great scenario.
So here's how, obviously the first 6 teams, the first 5 teams that I mentioned, Eagles, Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, and Lions are all negatives to go to make the playoffs. The Bengals, the 49ers, the Commanders, the Packers, the Rams, the Texans, and Chargers. Then the Broncos, the Vikings, and the Buccaneers all have negatives to go to make the playoffs. That's like a negative 105 or something like that.
Okay, so
minus 105.
even money, basically, yeah.
Yeah, so the other teams are all positive, and it's, I don't see any chance. Like it says, it's, like for instance, the Bears are a plus 3,000. They make it to the Super Bowl, plus 450 to win the division.
So since you're looking at those, what is the Seahawks odds? Because the predictions for this team have been so just wildly different across the board. I'm curious where Vegas has them. I would bet that they're probably like a 3,500.
You are off, actually. They're at plus 6,000.
6,000.
to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
They're a plus 550 to win the division
Okay.
and a plus 165 to make the playoffs.
So the 165, I could get with that because I have them as a fringe wild card team, right? Like
$10 to
might
win
get in.
33.
What's that?
$10 to win 33, or
Yeah.
$20 to win 33.
Yeah, I mean that seems about right. You know, I don't have them win the division or going on a run or anything like that.
You have better odds of making the playoffs than the Cowboys at plus 200.
Also makes sense. I mean,
But the Cowboys have better odds of winning the Super Bowl at plus
I mean
5,000.
that math doesn't seem to math very well, but
Well, it doesn't make sense mostly because of the divisions.
Right.
You know, so where they have you guys, they actually have the Cardinals ahead of you guys.
you know, it's funny because there's definitely a scenario where that can be. The roster is very talented. Their gameplay is so inconsistent. You just never know. Like some weeks, the Cardinals, you're just like, oh, okay, like this team could hang with anybody. And then they'll come out the next week and be like, oh, yeah, they're going to get the number 1 pick, right? Like, just,
Interestingly enough, every team is a positive. So it's a plus 150, a plus 175, well, plus 150 for the 49ers, plus 175 for the Rams, plus 450 for the Cardinals, and then plus 500. Or was it 550 for the Seahawks?
I think you said
550.
550. Yeah.
550 for the Seahawks.
Interesting. Okay, so Vegas is going towards they think there will be a 6-win team, basically.
That looks to me like a 6 or 7 win team.
Yeah.
That they're placing that at.
And
Below
that's the thing that's funny is, you know, some models are predicting like a 6-win, 7-win maybe, and then some are predicting like a 9-win. And it's like, okay, like I'm more towards that 9-win, provided they protect Darnold, obviously. If they
I
can't,
got you
it's
more
a
at the
dumpster
6,
fire.
7 wins. I think you guys are around 6 or 7 wins. I don't see you guys getting any more than that. Aren't you one of the teams that have 3 away games?
Yeah, we do, but we're also playing the South, so like there's some very winnable games.
Well, I think, I think that the Buccaneers do what they do and they win the division. I mean, they're actually even money to win the division.
Yeah.
In the South. Everybody else is.
I'm laughing at the chat.
Yeah, Brad and Joe going at it again.
I can't put any of it on the screen, but it's funny all this.
Joe saying anybody your team sucks.
Yeah, right.
I love that. Hey Joe, you missed the show yesterday where we were talking about how training camp is going down in Yucatan, California, wherever they're at.
Hey,
Oxnard,
you know what? If that team shows the same kind of fight in the season that they're showing on the practice field, you guys will be all right.
Yeah, Oxballs. Oxballs, California.
That's right.
Is where the Dallas Cowboys are.
Hey, you know what? Let me just chime in here for a minute. See, because I don't mind taking flack. I don't. I've been 30 years. I'm used to it. But I remember a time when the Philadelphia sucked the balls off of everybody.
You know what, though? You know what? You remember that time, but it's far back in your memory. It's far back in your memory.
We're not that far back. They made a bench about moving on y'all asses.
Who's the champs?
Huh? I remember y'all were so bad, you went to the public to try to fill the fucking team.
Respect the champs. Respect the champs.
Philadelphia Phillies weren't the dog water of the NFL. Okay, let's not act like that.
Guess what? Welcome to the shit pile there, Jay, because you're on it.
just saying, look, I know my team is in a rough spot, but let's not act like you were dog water for a hot minute.
Yeah, back in the 80s and 70s.
No, 90s too, and even into the early 2000s. I mean, yo, we're
Hold
dog
on.
water.
2001.
Eddie Reed
Went to
was
the
there,
NFC
and
Championship
Donovan
game.
McNabb was there.
2002.
Terrell
NFC
Owens was
Championship
there.
game.
Remember that dog
2003.
water team? I
NFC
remember that
Championship
dog
game.
water team.
2004. Went to the Super Bowl. Let's go. What are we talking about? I don't
I'm
understand.
just saying, you guys just recently learned how to win, and all of a
We've won
sudden now
over
you're talking
300
shit.
games since the year 2000. There's only 2 other teams that can say that.
Don't worry, my owner's gonna die sooner or later, and when he dies, we will rise again.
I doubt it. But good thought.
I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be his kid. Yeah.
Start saving your money. You might have a better chance of
draft.
becoming the better owner for the Cowboys.
It just means you'll be bad at the draft also.
So
Oh,
did you guys
man.
hear the story that it was planned by the Browns
What? What was planned by the
falling
Browns?
off the barge?
falling off the barge? Why are we echoing?
I don't know. I think that might be Jay.
We're echoing? Do I sound?
We were. It's gone now. But
No, what happened with the Broncos? I mean, the Browns. I'm sorry.
that it was told it was a planned move, which I can't tell whether that made it better or worse.
Worse.
Well,
Yeah.
it went viral, which makes sense. I mean, listen, if you're going to try to do something to make your thing go viral, that's the way of doing it.
Well, I mean, when it can't go viral on its own because the helmet looks terrible, and you have to do some gimmicky thing, like that's a worse look than if it just happened.
It looks like a turd, and
Yeah.
they have the wipes to clean up the
Yeah.
turd.
Right. Well, and that's why I think they should have done a promo where, since it's got the orange stripe, have the whole thing and then the white, boom, orange stripe. Just cleaning the shit off the helmet. I wish Bobby G
making
was in the
streaks.
comments today.
This is what we're doing. We're gonna
Yep.
this is a stain, a streak
Oh.
stain.
God.
Uh,
Yeah, that is not a good look for that team. I don't know who was in their design department that came up with this idea, but yeah.
So
I don't think it was a design department thing. I think they had some brown paint that fell off a shelf onto a helmet, and they're like, "Hey, I mean that'll work."
Yeah, hell with it. We'll throw that out there. God almighty, man.
And
yeah.
the best
So
part-
actually,
best
did
part
you
is
hear
when
the
you think
other
of-
rumor about them? Here's the other rumor about them.
Okay.
Obviously, that they are going to suck this year. The Browns, and that they are having a conversation with Nick Saban. And if Nick Saban, if the Browns suck to the tune of the number 1 pick in the draft, the Nick Saban actually becomes the potential head coach because of his relationship with the Manning family. And that choosing Arch Manning would be a possibility with the first pick in the draft for the Browns. The Saints are the other team that are projected to possibly have the first pick in the draft. And that's with, Kellen, so I don't expect that they're going to fire him for Nick Saban, but Nick Saban, it is potential that Nick Saban could come back to the NFL and draft his first draft pick would be a Manning if it works out that way.
Wow, that would be crazy.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be crazy.
So, but those were the rumors that I had just heard about the Browns. That's actually pretty good rumors. I mean, I think that those are yeah.
I mean, not to shit on the Browns, but fun with puns on a Friday.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I definitely think that those helmets look like crap.
They sure do. Like a ball of it.
Anyways, yeah, it'll be interesting. I love that Miles Garrett said that he expects his team to make the playoffs and have a serious shot at winning the Super Bowl. I thought
He
that
has to
was
say that.
well, it was amazing because it was just 4 months ago when he says, "I can't stand this area, get me out."
Yeah. They're not committed to winning. But for 40 million, I will lie about it.
And they're saying more and more that whole thing that Micah Parsons said is cryptic for the fact that he's like, Eagles, come get me. I'm coming north. I think there's a distinct possibility that Micah Parsons is an Eagle next year.
That would be interesting. That'd be interesting. I mean, shout out to Parsons for showing up and doing his job, though, instead of doing the holdout thing. Like, he's just like, hey, you know what? I have a year left on my thing. You either sign me or you don't. I'm collecting my check.
Right. Right. No,
yeah, I don't think they're just going to let him walk. He's either going to get signed or he's going to get traded. I think one of those two scenarios is going to happen.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you this. I think that if he gets traded, it will be a rental. He'll definitely go to free agency.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get whatever you would think for him. You might get like a third at highest, and I think that would have to be something with maybe, like a fourth. You make the playoffs, it's a third. You make the championship game second, Super Bowl first type situation. Yeah. I think that might be how that goes. Because at that point, if again he is that missing piece, but I don't even know that you could even escalate it that high from a fourth to a first. In that setting, I think it would be, the highest it would go is potentially a second round pick, because it's still just a rental, because you can't guarantee that you are going to sign him. Now,
no, exactly.
Trading with one of the evil empires for Dallas, i.e. The 49ers, I think like the 49ers, maybe the Chiefs, maybe the Steelers, like putting Micah Parsons on the Steelers defense, I think could be something that brings them over the hump and makes them a much more viable team to potentially make it to the AFC Championship game. Sure. So it's one of those types of trades, like I said, either to the 49ers, maybe even the Rams kind of, or the Chiefs or the Steelers. I think that those are the teams that make sense to me. I don't see the Chargers giving up that much or anything like that, but I do see something like that where the 49ers absolutely would. Lynch would absolutely make that deal. I think that the Steelers would absolutely make that deal. I'm not sure that Kansas City would, but I still think it's a possibility. You know what I mean? I think that Andy is willing to do whatever it takes now, because he knows that he's on the clock now, in terms of like his clock is about to die down. You know what I mean? He's going to be retiring sooner than later. So even if he lasts another 3 years, that clock is ticking. So it's like, hey, I got to get to as many as I can right now and try to win these games as much as possible. Sure. But ultimately, the moment that happens, I feel that you are not re-signing him. He's going to make it to free agency unless you are making him the highest paid player in the league.
Yeah.
And Joe, the reason you do it, I mean, I get what you're saying. You don't want to get hurt and whatever, but at the same time, we've seen guys hold out and have it really mess their money up. Or when it comes to like Le'Veon Bell, who sat the whole year, it just destroyed his career.
Not only that, because you aren't in playing shape anymore.
Exactly.
So you start putting on extra layers of skin, we'll call it, because it's not really fat and it's not really muscle. So you
Yep.
just got extra weight that's getting on you because you're not performing at the top the way
Yep.
that you normally do that. Um, it's it is not easy as a professional.
Nobody wants this, Chad.
So, but I mean, you could also maybe think that the Chargers would do that. Um, I'm hearing rumors. I'm hearing rumors that they're going to possibly go back to San Diego, and that
Really?
they are not being welcomed back there.
Wow.
Well, that I believe.
The ownership has been so maligned in San Diego because of the way they did things that they have not brought. That's why the joke is that the Chargers don't have any fans right now because they're the unwanted team. Uh,
Yeah.
he went there with the idea that they were going to build a stadium for him in LA too, and obviously, I don't see any stadium. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because similarly, the A's don't have fans either because ownership is a problem. You can bet that if those teams were to sell, a lot of those fans would start to come back. Because it's not like you're just like, oh, I just hate the Chargers now. You're like, I hate the ownership. So
agreed.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I kind of find that this is it's going to be interesting to see where they wind up going. Because it seems like that they are having really difficult time in LA, as every football team does. Like I don't
Exactly.
understand. That's the reason why people leave LA because nobody goes to the games.
Yep.
Because having those games costs you money more than making money. You're not
Yeah.
making any money and stuff like that. It
It's
would
funny
be
because they're always like, oh, it's one of the largest markets, so we got to be there. And it's like, okay, but they have two of everything. And when you suck, it's sunny and awesome. Like,
so, and that's it's funny. I was reading something about this German soccer team who
okay,
is, I think, a Series 1 team.
okay,
And this team has decided to, um, initially, that was like they've done it now so that they're working towards that every game for sale, every game is going to be free to get in. It's you get
okay,
your tickets, you have your season ticket holders, and they get their tickets automatically, and then you have a pool to be able to pull from to get people into the game. And what they're finding is that by making the tickets free, they're spending a lot more money on the concessions and on the paraphernalia, i.e., jerseys and stuff like
yep,
that. Like that jersey sales went up like 78%, 80%.
sure,
That concession sales went up like 250%, and that they're making their money for the ticket plus all that stuff without charging for the ticket. That there's an inherent thought process that says, okay, when you are paying for the ticket, you that money comes out of the coffers. So now you're being frugal, like, oh, I'll just buy a water maybe instead of 2 beers,
yep,
and I'll drink outside. That there's something to be said for the Chargers trying to do that in LA.
yeah,
Make it free. Hey, we're going to sell $10 tickets. Come to the game.
yep,
Get there. Let's have a full capacity house because they don't know that at all.
exactly.
In fact, most of the times it's the Rams saying it's their house.
I mean, when it comes to fans showing up, it is. Although when any other team is there, it's generally whoever the visiting team is, whether it's the Rams or the Chargers.
I loved it when ESPN was showing after the Rams won the championship and everything, the tens of people that
Yeah,
went
right.
out to celebrate. I think they they were able to like direct traffic right around them. Like here's the guys jumping up and down in the middle of the you know
Pretty much.
whatever. It's like, oh, hold on, guys. Yeah, hold on, let the car pass. All right, now you guys can jump up and down again. Yeah, it was ridiculous. I think there was like a whole 17 people that went to the parade.
And weirdly, they flew in from St. Louis.
They flew in from Detroit. From Detroit because
You
it was
know,
Stafford.
it seems like the
Yeah, that
Clippers.
makes sense.
It seems like the Clippers and Chargers have something in common, though. They're both a stepsister, in that city, right? I mean,
But
the Lakers,
Rams
Rams.
are the Rams are too. I mean,
There's
like-
more Raiders fans in LA,
LA?
yes,
than there are Rams fans. And the Rams, this is the second stint there.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, they made a movie about the Rams the first time in LA. It was with the quarterback who died, and he wasn't supposed to die, and he came back to there's a whole thing about that. And then he led the Rams to the Super Bowl. Look it up. It's an old movie from the early 80s. Heaven
Okay.
Can Wait. Heaven Can Wait. That's what it's called.
Oh, I actually saw that movie. That's funny. Yeah, I guess I don't remember it at all, but yeah, huh?
I guess I have to go back and watch. I'll go back and watch it.
in the 80s. So
Yeah, that's an old movie, but it was done where the quarterback was in an accident and wasn't supposed to die, was going to live, and they bring him up to heaven, and then they send him back down in the body of somebody else, and he becomes the star quarterback that he was before, and next thing you know, all of a sudden they give him a shot and say, okay, you've lasted too long now, it's time to make you who you are, and then that was the end of the movie. But
all right.
Now I guess I don't have to watch it now. Now I know how.
you don't have to watch it. It's. I tell you, it'd be an interesting movie to watch now. Well, yeah, I ruined it for you, but it's only been out for like 45 years.
That's what I was thinking. It's not really a spoiler alert anymore. Like
Well, it is if I haven't seen that, I'm gonna go see it.
Hold on, let's see. Heaven Can Wait. Let's see when it came out.
Coming to you this spring on VHS.
Oh, you're not old unless
1978 film.
Oh, geez. 78? God, I was 7 years old, 6 years
Yeah,
old.
a Los Angeles Rams quarterback accidentally taken away from his body by an over-anxious angel before he was meant to die, returns to life in the body of a backup quarterback, and in 1978. It was played by Warren Beatty. Warren Beatty was the quarterback.
Golly.
VHS might have actually been too high tech. It might have been Betamax.
That's what I was saying. I think that must have been like around the beta time period.
That was pre-HBO.
Yeah. Wow.
Here we had Prism.
Hey, not to switch gears, but hey, I'm kind of curious to get your take on this, Pag. I was talking to Bo about it earlier. So Donald Trump officially has issued an executive order on college sports on Thursday. According to the White House, the executive order bans third-party pay-for-play payments for college athletes, but the order does not apply to fair market compensation from a third party like brand endorsements. So that's interesting. So they're saying, I guess, basically the schools can't pay you, but brand endorsements can.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
they
that
can't
makes
get.
sense because
can't
they'd
get
be able
away
to
with-
sell the jerseys and the products and stuff. So I was watching something, I guess on Facebook,
Okay.
and it was showing how Mandel is the reason why this all occurred. He was the one that was fighting the system like that, and how he was talking about how he despises the NCAA because they saw like they didn't have the NIL, of course, and there was 45 million jerseys.
Yeah.
He sold 45 million jerseys of Johnny Football. You know what I mean? And he didn't get a dime of that. And now everybody's getting their money. So it's
Interesting.
that this NIL literally could have been the result of Johnny Football starting his crusade versus the NCAA.
Well, and I mean, like, I'm about the players getting a cut of things that involve them, right? Do I think that they need to have some structure to this NIL deal as far as from the college end? No question. Like, it's a train wreck. NCAA did exactly what they always do and just mess stuff up. But when it comes to brand endorsements and stuff, yeah, go get your money. Like, you know,
Yeah. But I think they're trying to take the power away from schools buying the athletes and turning it more into the brands paying for the athletes. I think it's what they're trying to do, to give some sort of structure, I guess, back to it. But I don't know if that's actually going to work. But that's what they're trying to do.
No, and that's perfectly fine, because then those brands can follow that kid wherever, whether he transfers schools or goes to the league or whatever. Their contract is with that kid, not funneling through the school in some kind of funky way. Like it. So no, I much prefer that. Like, you give the colleges a blanket cap, I guess, that they work within, and then anything that they get beyond that from, you know, the video game sales and jerseys and brand endorsements and all of that. Yeah, that's a different animal.
Because, you know, the NIL had gotten to a point now where we talked about this earlier, where the schools now are paying high school athletes to come and join their programs. And so I'm guessing that executive order then would do away with that, I'm guessing, and the brands would have to go in there and give them that. How would that all?
It's just adding a salary cap to it. It's really all it is. It's saying you get this 20 million or whatever the number ends up being, and you have to work within that. That has nothing to do with the outside, which also means the schools will get around it anyway. They're going to be like, hey, we'll give you 2 million of our cap, but we know the CEO of this company that's going to endorse you on your own if you come here, right? Like it's a shell game. They're just going to move the money around and lie about it. It's not.
I mean, boosters of every university. Boosters of every university. Yep. There are CEOs in every university that's going to make something like, oh, we're going to get this guy. I would love for him to be wearing my shirt when he signs. Like, and I did this myself, where I sponsored a guy who, wound up winning the world championship of arm wrestling, or the U.S. championship, and he was going to the Worlds. You know what I mean? This is something I did in 2017. Once you win, how do you stop sponsoring somebody? Yep. You know, so now you got to see it through. So it's like a $500 sponsorship where I made the guy wear my T-shirt when he won the U.S. championship. Now became $25,000, because I not only paid for him to go to Budapest for 2 weeks, I also paid for him to go to Poland for a week to go into the, World Championships of arm wrestling. And although I would have never, ever gone to Budapest in Hungary or in Poland, Dansk, Poland, I probably never would have set foot in either one of those cities. Sure. I've got a lot of now new culture because of that. Like, it was, oh my God, it was the stuff that we were eating in Hungary was, mwah, and so inexpensive and so cheap. I mean, it was like, literally, I fed 12 arm wrestlers and 3 of my crew, so like 15 people all day, on like a 4-course meal with beer for like $120.
Damn.
And that was at a high-end restaurant.
That's nuts.
It was awesome.
That's nuts when you consider the fact that I just spent $400 at B&B for 3 people, and you spent $120 for people.
Now, I will say that this was 2017.
Sure.
This was, again, we're in Budapest. You know what I mean? So it's the food there is a lot cheaper in general.
Yeah.
Everything's a lot cheaper in general. You know what I mean? Like, we were taking the train, and it was like they have their own money. They don't go by the and it's called a zloty. So it's like, like, I think the dollar gave you like 14 zloty at the time.
Oh, okay.
And like, there was things that cost like, 5 zloty, 7 zloty for like a soup. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're thinking about that in cents, not dollars. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I mean that's actually a very similar exchange rate to Mexico. So like when I was down there, it ranged from 16 to 19 to 1, right? And yeah, I mean, one of the things coming home was down there, you're used to getting like a bucket of beers for like, $10. So you're basically $1 a beer. And now you come home and you're like, oh, that same beer is $7.50 or $8.
Yeah, they're like, damn.
You're like, wait, what? Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's-
that's the beautiful thing about. I mean, the dollar does still have some weight. I mean, even like in the Philippines, you can get a damn San Miguel beer for a quarter.
listen, if you get to Bora Bora, you could live in Bora Bora for about $800 to $1,000 a month. That's like all in, like buying food, getting a place. But you got to get there, and of course that's the expense because it's like you got to get to Bora Bora, which is all for me. It's around the world. It's not so far for Bo, but even still, once you get there, it's cheap as hell and beautiful. Like it's amazing to live there because you're living in a great hut on the beach. Like it's like you go.
There's also
fishing
not a
for your
lot
food.
to do though.
No, you're bored as hell.
Yes. So like you got to be ready to not do anything.
Well, you better have your Starlink.
Yeah.
Because you're not watching sports or anything. That's like they have maybe remedial soccer there.
Yeah, and you better have a boat. Like you got to have a boat.
Right. But it's beautiful. And once you get the boat, then you can get to other places, but you need a
Well, but that's something. Let's say you go to Indonesia, which is not. I mean, it's just right next to Australia. You go to Indonesia, you get a 5-star hotel room for $25 a night. I mean, it's cheap. Even in Indonesia, it's cheap, and you can get all the regular stuff.
Better be careful on where you're going, because you don't want to be Griner.
Well,
Don't bring any and no drugs whatsoever. Zero tolerance for that. And,
I think Indonesia is a little bit more
much
tolerant
drinking
of the
either.
stuff.
Not much drinking either. Like you're not drinking at all in Indonesia, or at least in a lot of places in Indonesia. So there's a number of different things that you got to be a little bit careful of. Know where you're going. However, you go to Thailand and Bangkok, and I mean, they're kind of even promoting that, like, hey, if you are a wackadoo, and like really sketch stuff, Bangkok is the place to go.
Oh yeah, I mean, but that's the downside of everything, right? Lower economy, lower safety standards. I mean, there's always a trade-off, right? There's a trade-off for everything. So you're right. Situational awareness, things like that. I was in Indonesia. I drank my butt off in Indonesia, but I also stayed in a nice little resort for $25, and I kept everything very
probably all inclusive, so that they actually had the law there, so that it's. And that's why they allow drinking and stuff like that. Like you don't want to be doing stuff where, like I said, that I have learned, or at least I am smart enough to know, you do not mess with the police in a foreign country.
No, ain't nobody want to go to jail in another country.
Well, not only that, like you don't even want to get into a situation because you lose automatically just because you are American.
Oh yeah.
Like I would try to start using a Canadian accent of a little bit.
Yes.
Like it's worth it to try to almost pull that off. Just
if
because
you can get dual citizenship. If you can get dual citizenship, you use that other passport.
Yeah, and again, but that's like everything else, and anybody that goes around the world, man, you always gotta have that situational awareness. I mean, that's just category one, right? I mean, but that's the trade-off. It's the beautiful thing about America. We're expensive, but we're a little bit safer.
A little bit.
To a certain degree, right? To a certain degree, right? I mean, we got rough spots in these cities just like everybody else does, right? But you can come out here to Huntsville, Texas, you can have no issues, really. I mean, there's no cartels or craziness, right? It's normal, average,
See, you
everyday
said
place.
Huntsville, Texas, and I think of Huntsville, Alabama. And I tell you, I will tell anybody who's ever going into Huntsville, Alabama, there is a main highway that
Yeah.
takes you there. I've only been there one time in my life. I actually worked on the chimney at Helen Keller Hospital
Okay.
on the day that the eclipse was happening. And Helen Keller Hospital was like dead in the zone of the 100%
Okay.
eclipse area. This is back in, I want to say 2018, 2019. And we drove down there and we're driving trucks and we're just doing our thing. And you're driving down the highway and it's trees and forest and everything. And next thing you know, there's this big rocket that just comes up out of nowhere and scares the living hell out of you on the left-hand side, because it's like, what the frig is that? Don't even think about it. It's like right off of the highway, the NASA station in Huntsville, Alabama. And you don't notice it coming unless you know that it's there, and it will scare you because that rocket is big. It's like, bam, it's like trees, monster rocket. And it scares you. It's kind of funny because all of a sudden you're like, what the frig is that? And then you see the space center.
That is too funny.
Hey, I gotta pause just for a second. Look, guys, I'm all for bantering and comments and things like that.
Yeah.
But Brad, I think you're going a little too far with Joe, man. You gotta cut that out. Look, I'm all for bantering, but you gotta cut that mess out, brother.
Yeah, you got to pump the brakes a bit.
Golly, man, dang.
Yeah, it can't be personal. These teams are not our moms.
Yeah,
we do not have to defend their honor.
They do not pay us. They win, they lose. Our life still happens either way. Like it's not that
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I was reading the comments. I'm like, good Lord.
No,
but anyway, back to
we leave all the worst comments for us ourselves. Tell Jay.
Yeah.
Generally off the air.
It is off the air, but it's okay.
But no, it's
my therapist is doing great
work. Down. If you can keep it about the sports, then you can talk all you want. But yeah, don't make it personal.
What a time!
And that's true for everybody watching too. If you're in the stadium and you guys are going back and forth about the teams, awesome. If somebody starts attacking somebody personally, just walk away. Like it's not.
I get that all the time. The moment that they start attacking me personally, I know that I've won.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Like oh, you can't think of anything else to banter about. That means I win. I won this banter, and now you're just playing tool bag.
Yeah, you're just out of material. So, yep.
And trust me, I've lost banter. I've lost banters. It's okay. It's okay to lose.
I lose bantering every day in my house. My wife kicks my ass every day. And then I come and then for shits and giggles, I come on the coast to coast so I get busted some more. I love
it.
There you go.
Bustin's not even here, and he's still with it.
Well, but yeah. Oh, he said Philly Sports Guy won the Best Comedy of the Day award. Pax, are you doing comedy over there?
You know what? Some people think I'm funny. I do not think that I'm funny. I feel like that it's just delivery.
I tried that a couple of times. You're doing the sports comedy thing. There was a couple of bars out there in Georgia where you can go in and open mic. I didn't do bad, but I didn't do good. And I realized I'm a situational guy. If something's funny, like in the moment, and I'm good with that. But if you try to go up there and do a skit or something that's pre-planned or story, I'm horrible. Like
so,
like a hard
I am better at one-liners as somebody else is talking. So I am really good at interjecting funny anecdotes to somebody else talking. I am not a comedian on stage. You know, I don't think that I'm funny like that. I mean, I could tell some funny stories, but I don't have a very good measure of what's funny or not. Like I can go watch a comedian on stage and I don't laugh out loud. You know, like it's like I'm not a ha 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 type of guy. Although somebody could fart next to me and I'll laugh my ass off. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's like there's levels with me, but it's just I guess I'm more of a, you know, Three Stooges type of humor guy.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Have you guys heard of Matt Rife? I'm sure you guys have.
Yeah.
Right? That
He
guy,
is funny.
I think he's hilarious.
I
He is
see.
funny.
I don't think he's funny at all.
You don't think he's
No.
funny though?
No, I think that he is, you know, and no, like it's a craft. So the fact that he's able to do this on stage, he get paid a lot of money to do it, and he sells out crowds is great.
Mhm.
But I feel like that he is the epitome of uh a good-looking guy who is slightly using bullying on stage to get somewhere. And
Yeah, I
I
can see
feel
that.
that he crosses the line, and that's what makes him funny. Like I feel like the same way Shane Gillis, he kind of does the same thing, but because he's not
Yeah.
as attractive, he gets a lot more shit for it
Yeah.
in comparison to Matt Rife, because Matt Rife is attractive, to women. You know what I mean? Because I don't think he's that good-looking guy, but I'm not the target audience for that. He gets away with all that stuff, where Shane, he's a little bit bigger stature, a little bit goofier in terms of just the aesthetics, like just the way you look at him. I think that mustache is part of the funniness. What makes him funny.
Yeah.
So, but on top of that, it's just he's not. I think that they have similar acts. They just don't get the same reaction
No, that's
because
fair.
of the looks of itself.
Sure. I mean, that's part of it. It's why people stopped going to see Carrot Top when he decided to start living at the gym. Because nobody wants to laugh at a guy that can beat your ass, right? Like,
Hey, by the way, Carrot Top got huge.
no, he got jacked. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him one time. That dude, yeah.
Yeah, no, he went from looking like Sideshow Bob to looking ripped.
Which should be part of the act now, and be like, why aren't you laughing? Like,
You're right.
I said, that's funny. Laugh. I'm scaring people into laugh. Like, ha, 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 ha.
I feel like he just has to change his whole act to being like, what was his name? Like Gallagher, the guy that just like smashed fruit and stuff on stage.
So, Gallagher was great up until the point like the 80s ended. So
Yeah.
when I saw Gallagher in the 90s, when he was on the I'm going on tour because I got to pay my fines or go to jail tour, and he was not funny at all. And
Yeah.
I remember him being funny. Like,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden I went to go see him. I'm like, yeah, this show sucks.
Yeah, forced
You know what I
funny
mean?
is a little different.
Yeah, like
It
it's like
doesn't hit the
I don't
same.
care. Hold on, everybody's waiting for him to start smashing.
What
the
y'all think of
Sledge-O-Matic.
Ralphie May?
That's all he had. The Sledge-O-Matic at the end that's
Yeah.
all he did.
What y'all think of Ralphie May? He was a local Houston guy, but I thought he was pretty funny. He was on was it last not last what's that show? Last Comic Standing? I think he was on Last Comic Standing, and then he started doing his own stuff after that. But
I was a big Pryor fan also, Joe.
Yeah, and Richard
everybody's a
Pryor
Pryor
was not
fan.
only a great comedian, but he was also a fantastic actor.
No question.
Oh yeah.
There are some stories that you could hear about Richard Pryor that are almost unbelievable.
Mhm.
But they're told by people who were like, I was there. So it's
No, Richard Pryor was that's not. I mean, you're talking about iconic comedy right there. I mean, the guy was just intellectual but good as hell. I mean,
and on that note,
That's it.
that's
it's
it.
the weekend.
Be sure to like and subscribe. Otherwise, we're going to get out of here. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. And we'll probably be here on Monday.
Peace.